Hey, all you awesome listeners. Thanks for tuning in to the NetSuite podcast. I'm your host, Kendall Fisher, and on this episode, I'm joined by Joav Bally, Vice President of Product Management and Engineering for SuiteAnalytics. And in fact, SuiteAnalytics is exactly what we'll be discussing during this episode. Joav will explain why analytics tied with AI and machine learning is such a hot topic in the software industry right now, and why a data-driven culture is key to success for any company. He also dives into the importance of the right analytics tool and segues into NetSuite SuiteAnalytics, a tool that comes out of the box with NetSuite, providing embedded business intelligence to any customizations or applications, and therefore eliminating the need for developers and IT to deal with the complexities of separate reporting tools, BI cubes, or data warehousing. He explains the advantages SuiteAnalytics provides NetSuite customers, how it empowers NetSuite users no matter their title in a company, and how the tool will continue to evolve to benefit customers in the future. Stay tuned. That's all coming up next.
You're listening to the NetSuite podcast, where we discuss what's happening within NetSuite, why we're doing it, and where we're heading in the future. We'll dive into the details about the software and the people at NetSuite who are behind all the moving parts. We'll also feature customer growth stories, discussing the ups and downs of running a company and how one integrated system can help your business continue to scale.
Before we get into this episode about SuiteAnalytics, here's a word from our sponsor over at Blue Microphones. Everyone has a story to tell, and if you're a storyteller, you probably know Blue Mics for their iconic Yeti microphone, which has helped millions of people find and amplify their voices. If you're thinking about creating your own podcast, recording some voiceovers, gaming, reading audiobooks, or what have you, then you need to check out Blue's new Yeti Caster, the complete mic and boom arm system ready to connect to your laptop, bringing the ultimate broadcast studio setup right to your home or office. That's what we use here at the NetSuite Studios, and we love working with them. To get your hands on one of these setups, visit bluedesigns.com and use code PODCAST at checkout for a special price. Hi, Joav. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. As I've explained to the audience in the intro, you're the Vice President of Product Management and Engineering SuiteAnalytics. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, for starters, let's just keep it kind of simple here. What is analytics, and what do you think makes analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning a hot topic in the software industry in particular today?
Sure. Analytics in general is defined as the process of capturing, analyzing, and presenting data to generate insights for the purpose of making informed data-driven decision. Analytics is not a new topic. It's been around in the software industry since the 80s. But the analytical process in general is something we do in our brains every day, and we are just mimicking it now with software.
That actually makes a lot of sense to me. Now, can you define and differentiate analytics, predictive analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning?
Sure. So, in general, there are four areas of analytics, and I'll come to AI and machine learning a little bit later, but I think it's important to understand that we talk about analytics in four groups. We call them descriptive analytics, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. The first two, descriptive and diagnostic, is usually looking at data that has happened in the past and try to derive any insights out of it. Predictive and prescriptive is something you try to gain foresight. So you try to learn from the data and you try to get insights out of it and apply it to a future problem. Now, techniques that allow you to predict are machine learning or AI, and machine learning is a subcategory of artificial intelligence, whereas artificial intelligence can be any type of task we give a machine to do smartly. Machine learning is more giving the machine data to learn by itself and then execute on it.
Got it. Okay. So software and analytics experts are saying businesses and business leaders are more excited about these different types of analytics tools more than ever before. I mean, I think we know that pretty well at this point. But, why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think that we have reached a point in time where technology is able to really power analytics the way it should have been. Examples like self-driving cars that have sensors, can sense anything that's happening around the car and take action without even asking the driver. Is something that shows you the power of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and analytics in general. And there are many more examples where we are trying to mimic what human beings have done for many, many years now with machines, and they can do it. And I think this is where the excitement is. We're at the perfect inflection point between technology being able to compute massive amount of data in split seconds, the overall discipline of algorithms being able to learn and to make machines smart, and also us being able to articulate much better to machines what we actually want and what type of insights we want for specific use cases.
So it's kind of just been like an overall evolution, you'd say, as technology's gotten better and as we've grown with technology. This is why, we're more excited about the evolution of these tools than ever before. Absolutely.
I bet if you would have asked people 100 years ago if they would want that, they would have said yes, but there was no way to implement it.
Right. We talk a lot about the importance of data, obviously here at NetSuite. But for our listeners that are tuning in that aren't, maybe in our NetSuite group, why do you think a data-driven culture is so important for businesses today?
It's a good one. I like to quote Edward Deming here. He said, "In God we trust, all others bring data." We all as human beings in recent years have been accustomed to consume more data before we take a decision. My wife and I don't go to a restaurant before checking Yelp.
Me either.
We don't buy anything on Amazon before checking the ratings.
The reviews, yeah.
So data is much more available to us. We rely more on data to take decisions that are important for us in our personal life. And I think this is something that is now transpiring into businesses as well. Executives or decision makers rely much more on data as they should. Gut feeling can be wrong. And given that the data has been democratized over the last couple of years and there is so much data available, why not rely more on it, and why not, force businesses to make better decisions by leveraging data?
Right. Well, it's not always easy to find the right, analytics tools for businesses, especially for their specific needs as they differ across the board and across industries and size and so on and so forth. So what would you say is your best tip for a business leader who's struggling with finding the right analytics solution?
There are two things of it, and I wouldn't necessarily start with a tool. I think a fool with a tool is still a fool. And believe me, if you would see me with a hammer and a screwdriver, you would understand. The more important thing is to get organizations into the right mindset into what analytics can do for them and what insights they can provide for them. It's called sometimes data literacy. It really is a discipline where employees need to learn what they can do with data, how they can learn from data, how they can generate insights from data and take decisions based on data. And once you have this data mindset in your business, and once you have increased the data literacy of your employees, then you can find the right tools to support this culture in your business. In generally, I would say, start with putting in the mindset, start with coming up with a few KPIs and goals that you would like to measure. Start simple with low-hanging fruit that give you some good insights and that can move the needle. And experiment with a couple of tools and find the right that's the best mix. Too often we see it's the other way around. We buy a tool or we implement a tool and then we try to figure out what to do with them.
Right.
And that might not lead to the return that we look for in that investment.
Right. When you're talking about low-hanging fruit, for example, what kind of KPIs? If you're a brand new business, an entrepreneur, you have maybe one or two employees. What are some low-hanging fruit that we can measure?
I think the lowest hanging, especially for entrepreneurs and new businesses, is always sales. How can I grow my business? What is selling well? What is not selling well? Let's get real-time insights into that and see what decisions we can take in order to accelerate our growth. So I think the overall discipline of sales analytics for entrepreneurs and for our typical customers could be the lowest hanging fruit.
Got it. Now, as you move forward and as the business scales and grows, what would you say business leaders need to analyze the most, or what areas of data analytics do they struggle with the most as they continue to grow?
I think is to relate data from different domains. So it's very hard to look at data in a single domain. Even sales is touching a lot of other domains, like, for example, HR. You have your sales representatives, they have goals and quota. You have to see how many sales representatives do you actually have, who has quit, who has not, in order to forecast your business correctly. Some of the data is stored in HR and in an HR system. The other one is stored in CRM or in the financial ERP system. So correlating all these different data domains to get these insights, that's one of the challenges.
I don't think a lot of people think about the connections between, like you just said, like, for example, sales and HR and, talent retention. I think that kind of people miss that a lot. So I love that you just made that connection there. So, with moving into NetSuite, let's start off with, first of all, what is SuiteAnalytics?
SuiteAnalytics is the analytics offering that we deliver as part of the NetSuite suite. We have a couple of tools within SuiteAnalytics. I mentioned early on the 4 areas of analytics. So in the descriptive analytics area that explains you what has happened in your business, we had for many, many years the reporting tool and the saved searches. Reports really catered towards executives or management to see KPIs or to see numbers that are recurring on a periodic basis, like sales, inventory levels, these type of numbers, and to be able to see on a weekly, monthly, daily basis the state within these reports. Saved searches are were our first attempt to bridge the descriptive and the diagnostic area of analytics. The diagnostic one catering more towards why certain things have happened and not only what has happened. Very widely used by all of our customers. There is not a single customer who is not using a saved search in the system. And then a more new solution that we have launched with 19.1 this year is what we call SuiteAnalytics Workbooks. So this is a solution catered completely to do a TOC analysis and to figuring out why certain things have happened in the business. It includes techniques like pivot tables and charting and just basic ad hoc query building to allow any type of user to generate quick queries and get insights into the state of affairs quickly.
So again, this ties into our previous conversation, but why are we focusing on SuiteAnalytics right now? Like, why did 2019.1, why was this a big initiative?
Yeah, I think we had 2 very good solutions in reporting and saved searches, catering towards the what and the descriptive. We really heard from our customers that they want to be able to get insights faster and to dig deeper into the data. That's why we had to come up with a solution that really answers the why question for our customers. We did a lot of customer research and we interviewed a lot of amazing customers that were willing to help us. And we feel that Workbook is the right solution at the right time that we have released to help our customers grow fast.
Kind of going off of that now, what other benefits does SuiteAnalytics provide our customers?
I think all our customers are seeing NetSuite as their system of records and their single source of truth when it comes to their financial data or the data that they need to run their business. The big advantage that we as SuiteAnalytics have is we are feeding off the same system of records. So if somebody enters a sales order, it's exactly the same data that we use for analytics. So there is under the hood no data movement, no data preparation. The data gets not duplicated. It's the same data. You enter it, it's there for analysis. So we have the real-time aspect of it. And because the data is in our database, we are able to leverage all the user permissions and restrictions in terms of data access to it. So we don't have to copy that or to rebuild it. If you have access to a certain record, you can see the data. If you don't, you cannot. So there is a high level of security there that is directly derived from the general NetSuite permission and restriction concept.
You talked about real time. we talk about real time. The one of the biggest benefits of having NetSuite is you have, real data in real time. But coming from you, I want to know, what is the importance of having insights like this provided in real time through NetSuite?
Especially for entrepreneurs who try to grow their business quickly, any single deal is super important and influences the future of the company. So it's not really helpful for the CEO or the CFO to see data that is a week old or 2 weeks old or a month old. They want to see what has happened now, right? So did the big deal come or didn't it come?
Right.
And as soon as it comes, it's in the data and it changes everything. It gives completely new insights, right? You want to close the books on time for compliance and many other reasons. So the real-time aspect for fast-growing business, as most of our customers are of immense importance. And that's why it is important for us to support that.
If you've ever met a famous athlete at a corporate event or gotten an official autograph, chances are Steiner Sports made it happen. Here's Brandon Steiner.
We believe that there's magic in the moments that sports creates. We get customers closer to the game and help companies use the power of sports to grow their business. We've been in business 30 years, and we've had multiple systems to keep track of all the athletes and all of our customers. Multiple systems means multiple headaches. So we made the move to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite lets us replace all of our finance, inventory, and CRM functions with one convenient system. Now, all the departments can see the same data. And if I have a question about our business, I can get the answer quickly.
This month, NetSuite is offering a free 60-minute business review with an expert in your industry to identify opportunities to turbocharge your growth. To get your free review, go to netsuite.com/Steiner. That's netsuite.com/Steiner. netsuite.com/Steiner.
And what about the benefit of having embedded analytics?
Yeah, I think one of the things I really like about NetSuite is you are very familiar with the user interface once you logged onto NetSuite. You did a couple of things, you filled out a couple of forms, you entered a couple of transactions, and being embedded within this UI just makes it so much more easy for users to use SuiteAnalytics, right? Mm-hmm. It's in a familiar environment. They don't have to find a different URL. They don't have to memorize a different login. They don't have to go to a completely new user environment. Everything is right there for them.
Got it. So I want to go back to this thing you were talking about earlier, which is, a lot of people don't connect other domains, other parts of the company to, let's say, for example, sales. Can you speak to that in terms of SuiteAnalytics, and how do we tie this in with, like you said, those other domains? Maybe it's not just we're tracking sales, but we're tracking other things too.
One of the biggest advantages that I see with NetSuite is we truly are a suite, right? Mm-hmm. We enter the data is stored in our database, and it's there and it's collected. You can join the data, and with that, there is no additional step that the customers have to do except for running their business, and we take care of all the connectivity under the hood. And sometimes the people who are analyzing the data are not the ones who are actually entering data, right? If you look into inventory managers, they're managing the inventory. They might not know that there's somebody who's analyzing the data, or who is taking that data and are relating it to sales data, to employee data, and anything else. So we have created a data model under the hood that really allows us to unlock the power of the suite from an analytical point of view, that just makes it so much more appealing for our customers to leverage the whole suite and to get the benefits of analyzing the data that they put into the suite.
Right. Would you say the CFO is the one doing a lot of this data analyzation?
Yes, it depends on the size of the company. I think the smaller the company, the more the executives do themselves.
Right.
Definitely when we have built SuiteAnalytics, we put it in mind that it doesn't have to be an analytical or an analytics power user who is building the analytics, who is doing pivots, who is building charts. Mm-hmm. I think everyone who has done a pivot table or who have built a chart in the future should very easily be able to do that in NetSuite as well. The user interface is very intuitive there, and CFOs, CEOs should be able to do that, or to at least be able to consume the results of these queries as part of their dashboards.
Yeah. So I guess that means you don't really need any special skill sets to be able to implement like SuiteAnalytics and utilize it?
From a user point of view, you don't. Where it becomes, a little bit more tricky is another great benefit of the suite is the customization, right? Customers can create their own records. They can, add customized records to our fields. And we need to give them the opportunity to include these customizations in the analytics. So typically what we see is that there is a power user who makes sure that based on our data model and based on the data that is in there from the companies, they create the single source of truth in terms of data sets that they expose to their users.
Got it.
Once the single source of truth is created with all the bells and whistles that they need, then the casual users absolutely can build their own pivots of it. They can build their own charts. They can include them in their dashboard. They can filter. They can sort. This is pretty straightforward and does not require any additional skills.
Right. Would you say that any employee of a high growing business, that's starting off, let's say there's 5 of them, would you say any of those employees, it's crucial for them to understand the analytics? Whether it's, like you said, the data powerhouse or all the way down to somebody that's on marketing?
Yes, absolutely. Especially on marketing, which is one of the more data heavier domains, I think, with campaigns and analyzing success of campaigns. Or if we look into areas like field marketing and product marketing, I think there's a lot of data generated there, a lot of data captured. And it's hard for me, it might come with my job title, but it's hard for me to think a domain where I wouldn't want to analyze data and get insight out of it.
Right. So if I'm a business leader, be it a CEO, CFO, CMO, whatever, what gets me the most excited about SuiteAnalytics with all of these options that it provides?
So for the CEO and CFO, it's easy. Most excited, it's for free. It comes... It comes with NetSuite out of the box. There's no additional fee there. And so I think this is what's getting the CFO very excited. In addition, is that they have the peace of mind that their data is still secure with our data centers. They trust us with their data. They trust us with the most crucial information that they have about their business. And they know the data that they enter is exactly the same data that they use for analytics. We are not moving it around. We are not copying it or storing it somewhere where we shouldn't. It's right there within the system of records. In addition, it really, again, I have to reiterate, it creates the single source of truth. How often have we been in meetings where 5 people came with 7 different Excels trying to look at data from different angles, and we couldn't agree on that.
Yeah.
Again, with NetSuite being the system of record, the data is there. It's stored. It is how it should be. If we look at it through SuiteAnalytics, everybody sees the data the same way, and they can start talking about the insights rather than talking about, hey, how did you calculate that field? Why is your number, smaller than my number?
Right.
That's not happening with us. One single source of truth, one way where we store the data, secured by our data access policies. So in addition to it being free, I think it provides a lot of peace of mind to the execs.
That is awesome in itself, obviously, for any business leader. I know you already talked about this a little bit, but let's dive a bit deeper. Do customers need a separate software license for SuiteAnalytics?
No, they do not. If they want to use tools like reporting and saved searches and workbooks and our dashboards and KPIs, that's all included in the base pricing of NetSuite. There's one component under the SuiteAnalytics umbrella that we call SuiteAnalytics Connect. And this is for customers who want to extract the data out of NetSuite and put it into bigger data warehouse and merge it maybe with non-NetSuite data, or if they want to use that data to connect it with other business processes or other systems that they have. This is something that we charge for. But for the bread and butter analytics and insights that customers would like to gain on top of their NetSuite data, there's no additional charge.
What kind of companies would need SuiteAnalytics Connect? Like where can you give us some examples of those?
Yeah, we see it usually with the companies on the larger spectrum of our installed base. If they use any enterprise application beyond NetSuite and they want to connect these two data sources to get insights into it, what we see is they use Connect to take data into a data warehouse.
Okay.
And then merge these different type of domains in the data warehouse and generate visualizations on top.
You mentioned earlier, and I love this quote, and I'm going to continue to use it now, I know, but you said, a fool with a tool is still a fool. How, if I am a NetSuite user or if I am a business leader not running NetSuite, how do I know if NetSuite is the right system for me, if I should be, diving deeper into SuiteAnalytics, if I should, look into SuiteAnalytics Connect? What are those kind of like milestone markers that you would say, okay, this is probably a good time. You're not just going to be a fool with a tool. You're going to be utilizing it correctly.
I think it all starts with, irrespective of the system and the analytics tool, it really is between the management and the employees of the business to figure out what are the goals they set for themselves, what are the KPIs that they would like to measure. Mm-hmm. How will they know, irrespective of how they get the data, how will we know that our business is successful or not? If they understand that, if they know that, the next step then is to leverage SuiteAnalytics to implement these KPIs or to implement that type of analytics that gives them visibility into where are we with the goals that we set out for ourselves. I said in the beginning, analytics is always done for a purpose, right? So I'm not analyzing data for the purpose of analyzing. I'm analyzing data for the purpose of getting insights and then take decisions that improve my situation. The insight and the decision making is very often forgotten. That's why I would recommend start with what decisions are you taking and against what are you taking them, and then take it from the back to the front, and then build the analytics to help you get to the insights and get you to take the decisions you need faster.
Got it. Are there, other than we talked about earlier, sales is like a good base start. What other awesome analytics have you seen our customers pulling that have really helped them, grow, or really helped them take their company to the next level?
So many of them, and the good thing is, I should have mentioned that before, is we when we talk about SuiteAnalytics, we're not only delivering the bread and butter tools for do-it-yourself analytics, we also deliver out-of-the-box workbooks, out-of-the-box reports that our customers can take and customize, and they have a starting point. They don't have to start from a blank paper every time.
And I'm guessing we've built these workbooks, these kind of pre-made workbooks, based upon the 18,000 customers that we've already been working with for 20 years.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we do have workbooks in domains like sales where we provide analytics. We do have workbooks for service customers where we look into project analytics, for example. We have them in the manufacturing area where we do analytics in that space. I think I mentioned inventory management early on. So I think you can pinpoint at every domain that we are supporting within our suite, and there is great analytics to be built upon the data that we have there, and great insights that we can provide to our customers.
How have our customers reacted to SuiteAnalytics and the various tools that it also provides?
Yeah, I think many sent me chocolate and,
and wine
and champagne. But on a serious note, I think, workbooks they were waited quite some time for it. They were very happy when we announced it at Suite World. The usage is amazing, beyond what I thought, what the usage will be. We already see that many of our customers are building amazing workbooks and are reusing them on a daily basis. Is everything perfect? Of course not. We now released the second version of it, so it's in its second release with 19.2. So we have a lot of feature requests, which I like, because that shows me that customers are using that and they want more of it. So that's good. But by and large, the sentiment is amazingly positive that makes me very happy.
Awesome. Good to hear. So how do you see Suite Analytics moving forward in the next few years? Obviously, you said we just went through our 19.2 release with it. Where are we going from here?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of areas I should mention. One is I just mentioned the content, so we will release more out-of-the-box content in various domains, and not only individual domains but also cross domains, as I mentioned earlier.
Right.
To take the overall topic of embedded analytics more. We don't want analytics to be only an own area within NetSuite. We also want to take the individual analytics building blocks like a table or a chart or a pivot and make them and embed them in the forms. So if I'm a salesperson and I enter a sales order, I can immediately see how my bar for reaching my quota went up right there. I don't have to go to analytics and then open the right workbook to see that. So the analytics snippets should be right where the user is working. Another area is what we call intelligent insight. That goes into the artificial intelligence and machine learning area. We gave a little sneak preview there during Gary's keynote at SuiteWorld, if you want to look at it. But that really goes into providing more sophisticated algorithms for certain problems. If I want to launch a new product line, who in my user base is most likely to buy that, right? This type of cohort analysis is something that we will build into our analytical capabilities so that our customers don't have to. As much as everybody talks about AI and ML, it's actually a very sophisticated topic. These algorithms are not trivial to implement. So what we would like to do is we would, again, on a use case by use case, would like to build these algorithms for our customers and embed them into NetSuite so that, they can focus on growing their business and not on implementing sophisticated things in Python or Java.
Yeah, right. I'll make sure to provide a link to Gary's keynote from SuiteWorld where we give that sneak peek in the description of this podcast episode. To wrap up here, how can the audience find out more about Suite Analytics?
Yes, I think the best way to start would be our homepage. So if they would go to netsuite.com/analytics, they could get all information that they need. And also just, reach out to anyone they know in NetSuite. They should know about Suite Analytics too.
Yes. Well, I will also provide that link in the description of this episode. Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for explaining everything. And I'm excited about this. And I'm not even a full-blown NetSuite customer. I'm just on the marketing team. But I'm very excited about this, and I appreciate your time explaining it to us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to Joav Bally for joining us on this episode of the NetSuite podcast to tell us all there is to know about Suite Analytics. And if you're still interested in learning more, we've provided the appropriate links in the description of this podcast episode to help you out. I also want to shout out to everyone who made this episode possible, our sponsors over at Blue Mics and Steiner Sports, as well as our editing crew at Lampstand, and as always, all you listeners for tuning in. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
You just listened to the NetSuite podcast. Be sure to tune in every week with more NetSuite developments, stories, and insights into the benefits of one integrated system to help you run your business.